Georgia Tech continues its pursuit of Duke in the ACC Coastal. The Yellow Jackets now 4-2 in conference play after a 35-10 win against Virginia on homecoming for Tech here in Atlanta. Anish Shroff with Kelly Stauffer. We've seen this movie a million times before with Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech. It was the option game. It was the B-back, the fullback really in their offense. And they had some injuries with their running game. Charles Perkins was out. Zach Laskey was out. But how about Synjyn Days filling in for the second straight week for Laskey and for the second straight week a career high in rushing yards?
Doesn't seem to matter who's out. Paul Johnson calling the plays and Thomas running the plays as the trigger puller. And the offensive scheme puts so much pressure on the opposition. It's just very difficult to handle.
Georgia Tech scored on its first 3 offensive possessions. Deion Hill on the run, and then a couple of passing touchdowns. First DeAndre Smelter, then Darren Waller. Meanwhile, Virginia down 21-10 at halftime. A couple of second-half interceptions really sealed their fate.
Yeah, and the opposing offense feels so much pressure to make the most out of every possession, and Virginia just is not there yet. But Synjyn Days what a tremendous day he had, running the football up the middle from that fullback position, catching it right here as well.
And it was Days all day up the middle, 116 of his yards going dead center. That's the first option of the triple option.
That frames the triple option perfectly. I love that chart right there. Right down Broadway is where the damage was done.
Next up for Georgia Tech, they visit NC State a week from Saturday. If the Yellow Jackets can win the remaining conference games, and if Duke loses twice, good chance Georgia Tech is in Charlotte playing for the ACC championship.